came at Trump in his announcement, urging him to drop out of the race due to his, quote, distracting legal issues.
Now that he's been indicted, should he drop out?
Well, I do. First of all, the office is more important than any individual person. And so for the sake of the office of the presidency, I do think that's too much of a sideshow and distraction, and he needs to be able to concentrate on his due process.
Let's bring in our political panel now. David Avella, chairman of GOPAC, and Kevin Walling, former Biden campaign surrogate. Gentlemen, good to spend Monday afternoon with you. So Asa Hutchinson is the only declared Republican candidate to be calling for the former president to drop out of the race. David, that is not going to make him popular with a large percentage of the Republican base.
It will not, and he does have to hope that that percentage of Republicans who are looking for an alternative candidate, that he can coalesce them. It is interesting, though, John, running for president seems to be the favorite activity of former Arkansas governors when you think about Mike Huckabee and then Bill Clinton. And when it comes to Bill Clinton, it was Asa Hutchinson who was on the indictment team that ultimately impeached Bill Clinton. And can Hutchinson use that to get him the numbers he needs in level of support and fundraising so he can make the debate stage to make the case to Republican primary voters that he should be the nominee?
So let's take a look at that. I mean, don't discount, too, 2028 when Sarah Huckabee might throw her hat into the ring, extending this dynasty of Arkansas, former Arkansas governors, although she would probably be a current Arkansas governor who run for president. But does he have a chance at all, do you think, Kevin? When you look at the polling, and let's put it up here, latest Fox News poll, former President Donald Trump leads the pack with 54%. He's actually improved his standing. Ron DeSantis, number 2, his standing has declined. Asa Hutchinson is back there at 1%. That's a big hill to climb if he hopes to get anywhere near the nomination. I mean, he was a very popular governor, but that doesn't necessarily translate to the national stage.
Yeah, John, it's a huge hill to climb for the former Arkansas governor. And I think what you're seeing is him making a direct play for these never-Trumpers as part of the GOP nomination fight. You saw the other folks in the primary, Nikki Haley, even folks who are not declared, Mike Pence, others coming to the defense of Donald Trump as part of this indictment. But you're seeing Asa Hutchinson stake his entire candidacy in this announcement around this indictment and making a play for those voters. And we'll see there's some early primary states, South Carolina specifically being one of them, that's where I am right now, that allows for undeclared voters, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, to participate in that primary. So I think he is going to make the case with a majority of independents in the short term with polling that we've seen supporting this indictment of the former president, making a case to those voters. But interestingly enough, I think the one person that's actually celebrating the former governor's entrance into this race is Donald Trump, because the more people that aren't Donald Trump in this race, the better it is for the former president.
Right. So let's take a look at Trump as he's winging his way to New York City. I've actually been in contact with Eric Trump on the plane. Eric says that his father's mood is good. He says he's as tough as nails, and I promise you he's going to save America. David, what do you think is going to happen politically in terms of this arraignment and then the aftermath of it?
What we know, John, is that we will continue to be a divided nation, because you will have those on the right who feel he is being unfairly prosecuted, and they will further be angry at the system. If the president, when the president is successfully cleared of these charges, then you will have the left be upset, and they will move on. Unfortunately, they'll move on to the next trial that they want to have against the president, because whether it be when he was running for president or when he was president or now that he's post-president, what we're guaranteed on is that the progressives and Democrats are going to sue him, and they're going to try to bring him to trial for anything. And this will continue, unfortunately, it seems, for the president until he's no longer on this earth. The Democrats are going to go after him through the courts. And it only leads to a more divided nation, which is not good for us.
So here's some advice that former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki doled out on her program over the weekend. Listen here.
Now is not the time for a mass order of lock 'em up T-shirts and mugs. That's exactly what Trump and his supporters would do. Now is also not the time for Democratic candidates to celebrate, to brag, to predict the outcome of the legal cases. If you can, I'd actually just put your head down and stay out of it for now.
Can Democrats resist the temptation, Kevin?
Yeah, I think that's great advice from Jen Psaki. And you saw, President Biden, when asked specifically about this, he's declined to really get engaged and comment. The White House wants to focus on the president traveling to Minnesota today, for example, talking about the CHIPS investment and in infrastructure with the split screen of, the former president arriving for this indictment and arraignment tomorrow. So I think hopefully Democrats will heed that advice and cooler heads will prevail, and we'll let the process play out.
All right, Kevin Walling, David Avella, good to talk to you, gentlemen. Thank you for kicking us off this week. Going to be a big political week.